Hello, you beautiful people. So have you ever found yourself in this situation?
But yeah, it's quite odd. Every so often, you have a picture you see and you like it, but you can't say why.
Well, I'm going to talk you through the compositions of a few of my pictures from this stream so you know what to look for when you're taking your screenshots. Let's start with an easy one. It's clear that the dress is the subject of this image because it is the biggest object. What makes this picture interesting is the complementary colours and the visual patterns used in this image. First of all, it's framed by the doorway, but you also have a subframe of the rack above it. The beam of light is acting as a leading line, drawing your eyes towards the white dress, which is also a strong contrast against the dark background. Although this is a fairly strong image, there's just too much going on. I wanted to emphasise that this used to be a person, so I'm going to use a composition called Fill in the Frame, together with some other visual patterns to tell this story. The wall to the left of this image acts as a negative space, which is a strong contrast against the textures on the subject, and its edge is also forming a triangular frame round the subject, which directs the eye to where I wanted the viewer to look. These two visual patterns also work together with the fungal growth on the subject's face to give the impression that the infected is coming out of the picture. The final visual pattern is the contrast between the dark shadows and the bright fungus, which is not only visually interesting, we are drawn to brighter subjects, so you will naturally look at the fungus and then what it's attached to. The icing on the cake for this picture is how the hand gives the subject a contemplative look and how the arm stays within the triangular frame. This picture is showing us the story of Bill killing one of the infected that he had caught in his trap. I've cropped this image using the rule of thirds to place Bill and the infected on diagonally opposite intersections. There are a lot of leading lines in this image and contrast between the highlights on the two subjects and the dark settings which draws your eyes towards them. Here's another image with two subjects. I've included the table as a foreground to give the sense of depth to the picture, but the light shade is the main subject of this photo. To emphasise this, I placed the lamp on the top right intersection of the rule of thirds grid, framed it in the window, and the leading lines of the power cords and the blinds all pointing towards it, together with its contrast against the bright background, direct the eyes towards the lamp. The table was placed on the bottom right intersection of the rule of thirds grid to mark it as a subject, but there are only the right and bottom edges of the window pointing towards it, so it only serves as a thing that grabs your attention and then leads your eyes into the picture. I wanted to capture the whole scene of Ellie and Bill setting off on a journey, which is depicted by them walking along the flooded path. I lined up the two trees to work with the path to frame the two and placed a reflection of the sun to grab your attention, and then the path leads you to the two heroes. I've applied a little vignette to act a subconscious barrier that draws the eyes back to the centre of the image. I wanted the whole scene because of all the lovely textures from the water and ripples to the flora and bricks. And this image was also tilted slightly to the left, which I hope conveys that these two walked to the left when they reached the end of the path. So let's go back to the scene of the house and see what made me want to take a picture of it. There's a frame round the building. There's contrasts of blue and orange as well as the bright sky and the dark shadows. There's textures on the building, flora and in the sky, and finally the leading lines pointing towards the house. But let's see how many past me identified.
I think the thing that's attracted me to this is the trees and the telegraph pole that's framing the overgrown building there, and just the textures of that roof, the walls as well. There's just a lot of texture there, and the clouds. I think that's what attracts me to it.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe to help get this video to others who may find it useful. I also stream every Friday 8 PM GMT, and you're more than welcome to join me. Remember, we say goodbye so we can say hello again. Goodbye.